Oh wait, I need to do this. Put this up here, put this down here. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I know it's a little chilly outside, but the sun is shining. And so spring is going to come.
It's here.
It's here. I know it's technically here, but it's a little chilly. So it is wonderful to be here. Last week I was not here, and I really want to shout out to Deb. Thank you, Deb.
Oh gosh, no worries.
I had COVID last week, and so at the very last minute, Deb picked up services and all of services, and so it is much appreciated. And I missed all of you, and I am glad. What?
And Brett gave the Devar. We were very
And Brett gave the Devar with like 24 hours notice. So I am so grateful to such an amazing staff team here, and I'm grateful to be back and well and healthy.
We're glad you're feeling better.
I am feeling better. And it is Shabbat and it is Passover. So let's set our intention. Let's take a deep breath in. Feel the breath all the way to your belly. And release. A second cleansing breath. We breathe in. And when you release, push out all of those things that did not lift you up this week. And for our third breath, we breathe in deeply and we give thanks for Shabbat and the sweetness of this day. And release. And we continue with the opening song, which is
Shalom Aleichem.
On
page 24.
Perfect.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue on page 3 with lighting our Shabbat candles and offering Kiddush. This has become our custom. If you would like to light your own Shabbat candles, you may come forward to either side of the sanctuary as we begin with the reading on page 3. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehodlik ner shel Shabbat.
With Kiddush, the heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on that day God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letzion Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Our opening reading is found on page 9. When you look on page 9, you'll see every other stanza begins with the words on Shabbat. When you see that phrase, I hope you'll read with me. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We turn to page 28, where we find the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. We stand in body or in spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
Page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Shema is found on page 34 and 35.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam vaed.
The Haftarah is found on page 36. Sorry.
That's okay. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibata bam, veshivdecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayuletotafot beinenecha, Uchtavtam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 39. As we prepare to sing Micha Mocha, the song of freedom, we feel that freedom a little bit more keenly on this Shabbat as we are celebrating Passover, really experiencing, as it were, for ourselves what it means to be liberated, what it means to actually be free. And so let us read this together on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40, we sing together.
Children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai?
Page 42. Hashkivenu, our evening lullaby where we ask for God's protection as the sun sets or as our day ends. We know that as the day ends and we reflect upon the day that finishes and the next day that comes, we may feel a little, not sure what the word might be, poignant perhaps, and are looking for a little guidance from God. And so we sing this song, Sukkot, asking for a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace for ourselves, for those whom we love. And I would ask that we particularly think of those who really do need a Sukkot Shalom, a physical shelter of peace. Those in Ukraine who are still enduring war, and those here in the United States, the many who are really enduring the ravages of tornadoes and don't have homes. And so let us sing for Sukkot Shalom.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, lechaim. Ufros alenu Sukkot shlomecha, ufros alenu, Sukkot shlomecha. Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Aleinu, Aleinu. As I lay me down, may I feel peace all around, sheltered beneath your wings. May I feel safe and protected until a new day begins. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, lechaim. Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Aleinu, Aleinu,
That's very pretty. Thank you, Deb. Page 44, Vishamru. It is our singing reminder of the gift of Shabbat. Even in the midst of our prayers for Shabbat, we need a little bit of a reminder that Shabbat is our gift from God, that just as God rested, so too do we have this gift of rest and renewal. And so we sing about it.
Shameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam, Berit Olam, Brit Olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, Oti, Oti le'olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, Oti, Oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i shavat shavat vayin hafash.
Page 46, we begin the tefillah, the center of our liturgy, first by recentering ourselves with this. We call it a prayer. It's not really a prayer. It's more like a little bit of a meditation. And then we'll turn to page 48, where we, with our prayer, Avot v'Imahot, which reminds us that we stand upon the shoulders of our forefathers and foremothers. And then page 50, a prayer of God's greatness. Page 52, another reminder of the gift of Shabbat. We'll chant straight through. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Choser Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukedoshim b'chol yom yehallelu Selah. Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Let's be seated. Please be seated. I had to decide on that one.
You're the rabbi.
There's an insertion, a special insertion during our tefillah section for Passover. It is on page 56. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu ya'aleh v'yavo v'yizacher zichronenu v'zichron kol amcha beit Yisrael lefanecha letova lechen ulechesed ulerachamim lechayim uleshalom b'yom chag hamatzot hazeh. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers on Pesach, be mindful of us and all your people Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, life, and peace. Wait, we're doing the Hebrew and then the English, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry. Little check there. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letova.
Eternal our God, remember us. Amen.
Uvoktenu vo livracha.
Be mindful of us. Amen.
V'hoshienu vo lechayim.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. Amen.
Does that sound a little familiar? What does it sound familiar from? Anybody want to guess? High Holy Days. So it's a similar prayer. The ending is exactly the same as High Holy Days, and the part that I read is somewhat similar. And the idea is that we should be Ya'aleh v'yavo, we should be lifted up in memory and to be brought up to God on all of our festivals and all of our holidays to God. And we turn now to page 60. And as we've asked God to remember us and connect with us, we also have one thing that we ask for on all holidays and all festivals, which is abundant peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech hadod lechol hashalom. Hu melech hadom lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
We take time to think about all of those whom we love who are in need of healing, whether it be a healing of body, a healing of spirit, healing from mental illness, from spiritual struggle. And so, excuse me, we take a moment to lift up those names that we love, those whom we love in this congregation. If you are at home, I invite you to lift up in the chat. And here in this congregation, as my hand crosses over, I hope that you'll share aloud the names of loved ones.
Jane, Fred, and Susan.
We join all of those whose names have been said aloud with the names that still reside in our hearts. And if you need the words, they're in the middle of page 253. We sing together.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Makor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We take a moment now for silent prayer and reflection.
May the words of my mouth, and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer.
Well, happy Passover, everyone. And I'm not sure how many of you have had opportunities to attend Passover Seder or two. When I got COVID, I was a little nervous that there wasn't going to be Passover Seder or two in my reality. Luckily, there were. I actually was able to host one and attend one. I want to talk for just a moment about the Seder that I attended last night. It's been a Seder we don't have any family in Cleveland. And so last night we created with friends of ours a Seder where we use a preschool Haggadah. Just hang in with me for a second. A preschool Haggadah, it's a coloring book Haggadah, which we started with our children when they were in preschool, and we never changed the Haggadah. So we still use this preschool coloring book Haggadah, even though our children, their oldest is in college, and we have kids the same age, 16, as you know, and we still color the same, we all use the same booklet. Okay, so, now we're going on 11 or so years, and we hand the same booklet out every year. And it's been going on since the boys were 4 or 5 or 6 years old. And we sing the same preschool songs, and we have the same preschool experience. When the boys were in middle school, they were mortified, and now they can't wait for it. Something different happened, just slightly different happened last night, which was when the Afikomen was hidden, because the boys are all older, one's away at college. We decided we were all going, one person was going to hide it, and the rest, we were all going to look for the Afikomen. We couldn't find it. The person who hid it was amazing. We could not find the Afikomen. Usually takes 2, 3, 4 minutes. 10 minutes later, we're still looking for the Afikomen. And he would not give us a hint, and it was not my husband, would not give us a hint. So for 10 minutes, we're walking around the same 3 rooms, and we cannot find this Afikomen. We finally found the Afikomen, and we were so excited. We were all preschool children again. We found the Afikomen, and I had a moment that I hadn't had in many years of epiphany. The Afikomen is given such short shrift, right? We're all tired, we're done with the Seder, we want another glass of wine, right? We want real dessert, it's time to go home, we have to work the next day. These are all legitimate, right? So we race through the Afikomen. I am very guilty of this. Relishing that moment of taking the time to look for the Afikomen, of enjoying, first of all, being super frustrated, and then enjoying the moment of finding the Afikomen, celebrating it, sitting down, actually tasting the matzah, was really, really special. The commentators say that the idea of the Afikomen is to not forget the taste of the story. That the idea of the Afikomen is really about not forgetting why we're there. That the story, and not just all the ritual and the meal, is the moment. And we've taken this effort to tell the story, that we can't forget it. And that when we take a bite of matzah, in just that little tiny bite is everything, is the entire Exodus, is our entire people's story. And that's why we have the Afikomen. One teacher wrote, the key element of the Seder's drama is that each person is told that we should think of ourselves as if we had left Egypt. And so when we take that little bite of matzah, we're remembering our story of leaving Egypt. And so the Seder is these moments of our story of leaving Egypt. And what do we feel when we've had a huge experience? Kind of what I just did. We tell the story a little bit too dramatically. We tell a little too much of a story, right? We want to talk about it. We're likely to embellish, to lengthen, to be enthusiastic, to maybe be circular, to be verbose. And so in some ways, the Seder is one of the most important guides, not just of our narrative, of our people's story, but something else. Something that I did not learn really until this week. It's a guide. The Passover story is a guide in how we can be present in the moment and present for the story. That when we are sharing exciting moments or just fun moments, this is how we can be present for each other. There are so many instructions in Judaism on how to be present for each other when we're hurting, when we're grieving, when we're physically hurting, emotionally hurting, when we're in mourning. There are not so many instructions of what to do when things are good. The Seder is good. We're liberated. We're partying, right? Maybe this is an instruction manual on what to do when things are good. When the story drones on a little bit and the Seder goes on a little bit too long, it's okay. Just still be present. When people have good news to share, when it's repetitive or circuitous, we just still have to be present. Oh my gosh, start over again. Okay, we have to relish those narratives. Looking for the Afikomen is an example of not rushing the story because it has so much merit and so much joy. And maybe that's another reason why Passover is one of the most celebrated holidays in Judaism. Shabbat Shalom.
So speaking of the Passover story, Rabbi reminded us about how we were all there, okay? And you got to picture how you would feel. Well, there's one person in the story who is known only because he is said to have stood at the shore of the Red Sea. Now picture this, you're there. The Egyptians are coming behind you. You can hear them screaming, you can hear the thunder of their horses, and you're standing at the edge of the water. And Moses says, well, go on, go across. And it wasn't split yet. So the story is, the Midrash, is that Nachshon was the one who took the leap of faith, where he actually walked in, and not until he walked in to the water up to his head did the sea part. So that's another part of the story that just gives me the chills. And every time I tell it, I get goosebumps. So this is a song written by Todd Herzog about Nachshon and what we can learn from Nachshon. I put one foot in the water just to test my resolution. I'm not sure I've got exactly what it takes. But as my body's getting colder, my intent is growing bolder, and I push my limitations till they break. I don't care if this ends up a big mistake. And I'll cross that bridge, I will not hide. I'll see what's on the other side. I'll step beyond the world I've come to know. And I won't let questions hold me back. My faith is more than what I lack. It's courage of a reason where I'm going. I'm headed where my spirit's free to roam.
wade a little deeper, fear and doubt begin to seep in, and I wonder how I've gotten to this place. I'm about to head for shore, but something's stirring at my core. I know the time has come for me to find my way, and I know that I am different today. And I'll cross that bridge, I will not hide. I'll see what's on the other side. I'll step beyond the world I've come to know, and I won't let questions hold me back. My faith is more than what I lack. It's courage of a reason where I'm going. I'm headed where my spirit's free to roam. I'm coming home. Now I am standing with my head above the water, taking a breath before I slip into the sea, saying a prayer as I prepare to cross the border. Then right before my eyes, the crimson sea divides, and I'll cross that bridge, I will not hide. I'll see what's on the other side. I'll step beyond the world I've come to know, and I won't let questions hold me back. My faith is more than what I lack. It's courage of a reason where I'm going. I'm headed where my spirit's free to roam. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Beautiful. Thank you. We continue with Aleinu on page 283. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We continue now with our time of remembering. Excuse me. Our memorial meditation is found on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, At least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken most recently from our temple family. First, those in Shloshim, Barbara S. Robinson, Ruth Yasowitz. And we mark those whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat: Francis Eisner Barjansky, Fanny Herstam Bernstein, Milton I. Doss, Jay Engel, Harold Fellinger, Howard M. Gans, Jules Garrell, Dorothea Gessen-Hughes, Jacob I. Glickman, Mordecai Goldhammer, Grant K. Goodman, Sylvan Grott, William M. Heller, Shirley Catcher, Samuel S. Kaufman, Joseph Kramer, Mark Larange, Bernard Lefkowitz, Louise Stoddard Meltziner, Nettie Nateras, Judy Nathanson, Odell Nathanson, Bill Nidus, Harry New Sr., Harry R. Portugal, Marion Stoddard Reed, Herman Samuel Resnick, Paul M. Rosenwasser, Dolores Rubin, Imogene H. Schnapp, Herbert S. Simon, Bernard A. Weingart, David T. Weingart, Jane W. Weingart, Benjamin James Wolpow. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled, and together we turn to page 294 for the mourner's Kaddish, and we stand in body or in spirit. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'Alma Divra Chirute V'Amlich Malchute B'Chayechon U'Vyomechon U'V'Chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'Vizman Kari V'Imru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Almei Almaya Yid Barach V'Yish Tabach V'Yid Pa'ar V'Yid Romam V'Yid Naseh V'yid Hadar, v'yid Haleh, v'yid Halal, Shemed Kudusha Barechu, Le'ilam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, V'al kol Yisrael, Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite Marjorie Mazo to come forward. She is a member of our Board of Trustees to offer some words of announcements.
Thank you. Take the mask. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, it's good to see everyone. Just a second here. All right. So first, Rabbi Van, thank you for a wonderful service tonight. I love the story of the preschool Seder. I think I'm interested. We have to talk. And Deb, thanks so much for really wonderful musical accompaniment and some really wonderful songs for this Shabbat during Passover. So just a few announcements for you. The temple offices will be closed on Wednesday, April 12th for the last day of Passover. We held the Kol Nashim Women's Seder this past Sunday, and it was our first women's Seder since the pandemic. And a real special thank you to Susan Merdler and the women of Kol Nashim for all their hard work. It was a really terrific event, lots of fun, and really great to see everyone again. We hadn't done it in a while, we missed it. Rise and Shine for our littlest members is this Saturday, tomorrow, at 10:30 a.m. at the Orange Library. We do ask for folks to register, but since it's Friday night, if anyone wants to show up, we'd love to see you. And also coming up next week, the Come Grow With Me interactive Shabbat service and free dinner led by Rabbi Shana. Kids 0 to 7 and their families will be held next Friday at 6 p.m. in the garden room. And we do also ask for you to register for that. So please email Rochelle in the office. That's it for announcements. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Marjorie, much appreciated. We have a closing song, Adon Olam, I believe. On page 321.
This is a participation Adon Olam. It's call and response. So I hope I hear you. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Lehet Nasa, Bechefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichlot Hakol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Behu yeh betifara Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Lehet Nasa, Bechefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Lehamshilo lahachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Belo Haoz veHamisra, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Lehet Nasa, Bechefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Behu Eli, Bechai Goali, Betzur Chevli, Be'et Sarah, Adon Olam, Behu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi, Beyom Ekra, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Lehet Nasa, Bechefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Beyado Avkid Ruchi, Be'et Dishan Ve'ayira, Adon Olam, Be'im Ruchi, Geviyati, Adonai li belo ira, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Lehet Nasa, Bechefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam.
That is a very fun song.
It is.
We are going to rise in body or in spirit for our benediction, immediately followed by motzi over matzah. And matzah will be available out in the foyer.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen. Shabbat shalom and happy Passover. And
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for matzah. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'te'avon, Shabbat shalom.
Do we say the blessing for matzah too or not? Okay.